What it do, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Inner Geekdom today. Well, this is the second stream already because we had the Nintendo Direct earlier. I've already posted my Sonic the Hedgehog 3 trailer reaction, and now we have a Dungeons and Dragons Direct because they've got a new system, and who better to be a part of that than my buddy Pancake? Because, you know, we know a thing or two about playing some tabletop RPGs since we've been playing 3 years now together, 2, 3, something like that.
Three.
Yeah, we've been playing some tabletop games together for a minute now. And what's funny is, for anybody that watches this, I actually met Pancake as a substitute game master for a game he was in. Like, I just came in for a week and subbed in, and he cracked me up, and I was like, this guy is gonna be in like in some of my games. Like, we ended up in some other people's games together, and then you ended up being in some of my stuff. So yeah, and it's we've had fun. We don't get to play in games together often. Usually I'm GMing you, so I'm hoping that with Vane doing some GM stuff that hopefully he'll be putting something together, because I'm trying to convince him to at least, he doesn't have to go full-on content creator like I'm doing, but at least put the content out there, because I want to support him doing his own campaign. Like, if you want to do your own campaign and stuff, I'm happy to show you how to set it all up and everything. Put it onto your channel. I'm happy to go and be on it, you know? Like, we can, like, I'm all for all of us having our own campaigns on our own channels now and just helping each other out.
I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty fun. I'm trying to think. I could maybe follow through up on that Avatar deal that we made so long ago, run that singular one shot.
Well, you have to remember, we do use Tailspire in a lot of these now, so you would have full-on maps that could help in a lot of ways. That I think that the Avatar game was lacking in its vagueness. That was kind of one of my biggest problems with it. I feel like with the visual that it might be a little bit better of a game, because yeah, I mean, I like maps. I know that a lot of people enjoy theater of the mind, but having that physicality there for me to look at goes a long way with me enjoying a game. So for anyone that watches this and hasn't tried it yet, if you've got a PC and you enjoy playing your tabletop games, check out Tailspire. It's got a lot of plugins for different games outside of just Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to be playing Fabula Ultimate in it. I have played a Marvel campaign in it. I have played I've played a Fallout campaign in it. It's a great system to run. I really enjoy Tailspire. It's got music and everything built in. It's a great thing to really take your campaigns to another level, and it's not all fantasy stuff. There's some modern stuff, there's some futuristic stuff, so you can really kind of find the themes that you're wanting. It's also a creator driven like community in a lot of ways, because you can like post your own creations up for people to use. So if you're just eating, like, let's say a temple of some sort or something like that, it is not free. I think it's like, what, Pancake, about $20, 20, 22, somewhere around
30?
Is it 30? I don't think it's 30.
Let me...
We can go and look that up for you real quick.
I'm looking up $25.
25. Okay, yeah.
Well, okay. No. Let me double back this.
Okay.
They're $25 for Tailspire. There is a guest edition that lets you
if you're not the GM,
seat down. If you're not the GM, if you just want to play as a player,
that's awesome.
You can just get the guest version.
That's new, because it used to be you had to buy the full version. So I'm glad that they've added that, because a lot of the other ones like that. But yeah, Tailspire is a great community driven thing. There's a lot of mods for it. So let's say you're doing a Fallout campaign, because there is a great Fallout tabletop RPG. If you really like a lot of statistics, because there's just nothing but charts upon charts upon charts upon charts for like weapons mods, armors, all of that type of stuff. You can go and add a mod in that when people are trying to go through a door, they actually have to do the lock picking mini game from Fallout. You can add that to things in Tailspire. You can really modify it out to fit the type of game that you are playing. It's such a fun system. I'm getting ready to host. I'm moving it from November actually to January, just because I'm not on that same schedule as Artificer like I was before. So in January, I'm going to be starting a Fabula Ultima campaign. And if you haven't heard of Fabula Ultima, You've got to try it out. It is such a great system. I'm going to run some one-shots actually before the full campaign starts in January, if anyone wants to watch and kind of see how it goes. But it is a Japanese role-playing game, inspired tabletop role-playing game. And it is so cool because you start out at level 5. Why would you start at a level 5? Well, because you pick 2 to 3 classes, and each level you put into it, you get to like hand pick certain abilities to go into your character. And you really get to kind of craft your own class pretty much by multi-classing in this. And it's so cool. Once you get a class to level 10, you get a mastery ability and can add a 4th class and so on and so forth. So if you get something that's level 10, that's a mastery, and you go up to level 50. So really cool system. It's a 4-stat system. All 4 stats are a die, and everything is just a combination of 2 dice. So if you say, let's a strength and a speed roll, so you have a d4 in that and a d8 in that, that's the 2 that you'll roll together to get whatever you need to get. So that's very, very fun system. I love Fabula Ultima. I love Tailspire, and I'm looking forward to doing a long form campaign using both of them very soon. I think that you said you were going to be part of that one, didn't you, Pancake? That's kind of replacing the anime campaign we were doing.
I mean, I don't remember saying that. I don't recall getting an invite, but if you're offering,
Of course. I mean, well, and what's cool is this system has an OGL, so I've been writing for months already. I'm making my own settings and expansion guide for Fabula Ultima.
Yeah, no,
Jared in the comments over on TikTok says, roll these nuts. Now, what he means by I'm not gonna bench you for that.
Would that be a dexterity roll? Would that be like a strength roll?
No,
would we classify maybe more that as a charisma?
What if you took your nuts and hypothetically rolled them?
Okay, Ben Shapiro, shut up. Okay, no. Hypothetically,
if your nuts just so happen to be rolled.
Now that's what we call I don't know. I'm not gonna say that.
Oh man, all right,
due to guidelines, I'm not saying that.
We got 1 minute until stream starts. Woo!
Let me actually like pull it up. I pulled it up and then I closed it.
Oh, no.
Stop pulling it back up.
All
right, there we go.
All right. Oh man, now
I like this music.
Oh shoot, I have to turn on the music. I've been keeping it on mute just because I didn't want people to have to hear it the whole time.
It's some pretty snazzy music.
I'm here for it. I'm gonna go ahead and hit record then.
Wait, we're still in like the public channel. Do we need to move?
Now we're good. Nobody's gonna jump in at this time of day. Well, because remember, cool. I put rules on the Discord that you have to agree to. So nobody that normally was doing that is currently even allowed to see our channels. All right, let's see what we got. We're gonna go back to the Gygax days, boy.
Pretend in a world that isn't real.
I played first when I was.
I have like my little pillow full of dice with me as well.
I should have grabbed mine. Damn.
I'm wearing a hat that's like D&D themed right now too.
My sisters, my friends. He got me hooked.
Like,
I've been playing
like I said, I've got a big old D&D tattoo, so I would say I'm a wee bit of a fan. But I'm not really happy with where Wizards of the Coast have been taking things over the past few years. So we'll see. Like, I was a 3.5 guy. I played a lot of 5th. Bit more of a Pathfinder person now.
That's the joy of collaborative
storytelling. I like how everyone skips 4th. Everyone just agrees that 4th sucks.
4th didn't happen. We went from 3.5 to 5th edition.
To 5.
Good friends in this life.
Yeah, there was a 4th edition. It's called Pathfinder 1st edition. Because that's what everyone played when 4th edition was relevant.
You can actually let your imagination go wild.
The world is your oyster. The possibilities.
Hey, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I'm doing you a favor.
Hey, Brennan! We love Brennan Lee Mulligan here on Inner Geeked Up.
Yeah, Brennan Lee Mulligan. Mine might be like slightly delayed.
Oh, it is? It happens.
It's different bonding.
We'll be close. It's close-ish. Of course, they're going to be showing tons and tons of Critical Role because they're like They're like so is this a 6th edition? This is 5.5 more than 6th edition. It's a revision to the current rule set, and a lot of people are not happy about it. Other ones are like, well, because they keep getting called out for bad choices, and then they keep like going back on them and saying, all right, you guys, we're gonna leave us, so we're gonna change it. Like, the fandom has happened to bully Wizards of the Coast into not messing up their own property at this point, but they're still losing people along the way.
That teaches you how to play.
Because there's just, I can discuss like the politics of Hasbro and Wizards probably along with this some, because it's gonna come up. The open gaming license is gonna come up, you know.
Changes to the game based on what the fans have said.
Now, because here's the thing: if they had to make it where the normal 5th edition is compatible with 5.5, because that was their original promise, and then they went back on that promise. The fan base like was in an uprage, so now they had to revise it back to yes, your old edition can still work with this updated edition.
Brand new
so it's like
that's why it's a revision. Otherwise, it's 6th edition. They kept trying to go back on that because they wanted to make something exclusive to their online new platform that they're trying to milk people month for month for, because they want to basically be like the Netflix of tabletop gaming. My problem is, if you're gonna try and be the Netflix of tabletop gaming, you have to do more outside of just a fantasy genre. You gotta go and doing your franchise. If you're with Hasbro, for freak's sake, go and put the Power Rangers game in there. Go and put the G.I. Joe game in there. Like, why in the world would you only have D&D separate from all of your other properties when they also have tabletop gaming, like freaking games? Make it one package. It's so stupid, man. It's so stupid. This is why people get mad at them. This is why I get mad at them.
I'm trying really hard not to laugh right now. I'm just listening to you rant, and I'm like, dude, I'm just here for a good time.
I know you are. Pancake is so much more civil on Wizards than I am. I hardcore rage on that company.
Dog, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I think it is stupid, but it's like it's one of those things that's like.
We've been working with our
I don't know.
Well, but that's my thing.
D&D is just the most popular system.
But
so
that's my problem, though. Is 5th edition is the most popular system. Why not put other settings with that same rule set if you want to have a full package? You know, what if I don't want to do fantasy? What if I want to do, you know, more of a cyberpunk type setting? Give me a cyberpunk style book with a 5th edition rule set in that same package if you want me to do a monthly thing like they're trying to do with, like, what is it? Is it D&D Beyond? Is that the one that they're still sticking with?
Yeah, that's the one. You either pay monthly or yearly.
Right. So make it an all-encompassing. Keep the same rule set, but change the settings. That's all I'm getting at. Hasbro has a million franchises that they could just make 5th edition setting books for.
A number of the people who've already seen
that's my problem.
It's just a slight tweak that just needs to happen.
Just that slight tweak would be game-changing. Open it up to where people can publish their own content and make money for it on your platform. Like, if I want to go in and use my story with your rule set, publish it on your platform so you get your percentile of it, which I'm totally fine with, but instead they're just like, nope, it's only D&D, and so it's like, I'm out then. I'm gonna go elsewhere. I'm already looking at Fabula Ultima. They have an OGL themselves.
In the DMG. Many of them are new.
And the OGL is like the
open gaming license.
I think the
there we go.
The open gaming license is what makes you able to go and create your own 5th edition content and publish it, as long as you're not using any of the intellectual properties that are linked with the Dungeons and Dragons property. You have to use either open source things like dragons or goblins, or make up your own stuff. But anything that
you can't use like Tiamat.
You can't use, or you can't use like a owlbear, for example. You know. Actually, I don't know of owlbear because I think they might have owlbears in the much superior system of Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Yeah, I think Owlbear is a lot more mobile.
I love Pathfinder though, and their combat system is superior. I'm curious if they're going to have a difference in attack of opportunity, because that's one of my biggest issues with 5th edition is when you move, literally everything tries to kill you. So it makes it where you go up to creature and stay there until it's dead. There's no movement strategy a lot of the times in 5th edition, and I think that it is a huge hindrance when you are or dealing with people that do enjoy being able to use a grid-based system more thoroughly?
We're working on
Is this model profitable for them? Yes and no.
It's so wonderful
This
when
is
we
a
can
platform that
have
is
translated
being
versions
currently rolled
to
out.
make it
So a
easier
lot
for
of this
the
is
next
they
generation of
basically
D&D
bought a
fans in
company,
other parts of the
integrated a
world
lot of
to
its stuff,
jump right into the
and
game
now
and
they
start
are
playing.
kind of this is them. This right here is them putting it on display of what it's going to look like. Essentially, that's what this stream is going to be about.
Hang out with your friends to get to know new people.
Is us kind of seeing what 5.5 and their D&D Beyond system with it integrated is going to look like. Will it be profitable? We don't know yet. But like Dungeons and Dragons is still the largest intellectual property in tabletop role-playing games, to the point that I would say that it takes up about 70% of the market overall.
One of the ways that we're thinking about
That's how large it is in perspective of other tabletop games. It's about 70% of it. So it's gonna make money. It's just the fan base that is making content for them is trying to tell them, hey, this is how you can do it, and it'll be an even bigger thing. Instead, they keep trying to find more ways to just simply milk the fan base. For example, the OGL scandal of 2 years ago.
And it's kind of surprising how many
Which
people
2 years ago already?
It's got to be at least 2, if not longer.
Is a book of 10 short adventures that all feature dragons and dungeons.
Oh, I know, right?
Also,
This is gonna probably be a pretty long stream. All right, starter set fall 2025.
New starter set that
they also dropped the new. I don't know if you were paying attention. We were like mid rant. They dropped a new DM guide and a monster manual.
Yeah.
players. So the first
Do we
Like an
know-
updated version.
Do we know the release dates?
doesn't know how many
I think they might already be out.
Oh, so they're like
They didn't say release date. It was they just flashed it up on the screen.
Okay.
And people were like talking about it.
I'm not gonna buy it.
And it takes the players to
Nah.
kind of
The only one that, like,
settings.
people might consider as the monster manual because it's gonna be updated.
Well, no,
But like
so-
you probably don't need a DM guide.
Well, because I have a bookcase that is full of tabletop books already. My main reason, and I do say that the starter sets are a great way to get people introduced. I've bought multiple of them for people. They are really good for getting people started into it. And getting started into tabletop games in general. There's other systems that do have starter sets if you want to try Pathfinder instead. A fantastic one to also try. But
play events. Part of the way that we're doing
I
that
just
is game stores will now
I
get
don't
early
I don't have
access
any
to
intentions
our releases.
of playing a
Research.
Dungeons and Dragons game
And those
within the
releases will be
next 6
supported by
months
play
at
programs,
least. That would
so
be
that a
I
store
have a
owner
pretty
can go, hey, you've got your book
filled
early, and,
slate
here's some adventures
right
to
now,
play
and
along
nobody
with
has
it with all of your
approached me
friends in the store.
about being in a Dungeons and Dragons game as of right now.
One thing I love the most in this world is that's when I can bring
so-
Magic and D&D together. They're
I
both
really
just
don't
so
have a reason to get the
special
new
to so many
system.
folks.
I don't know.
And
So I
Magic
know
is
a
going
lot
to
of people are
highlight
loving
D&D's
Magic the
50th
Gathering
anniversary with some secret
crossovers.
today.
I'm not the biggest fan. And I'll tell
You're
you
wrong.
why. I don't like a lot of the crossovers because Magic the Gathering has its own lore. It has its own very rich lore, and I just don't think that being gimmicky and slapping a bunch of faces are needed for an already very well respected tabletop trading card game. I think it's cheap.
My game table more
And now it's the primary thing they do. It went from like a lot of like there's books where you can go and read about the stories of things that are happening in the world of Ravnica, the Magic the Gathering setting.
We're so excited to
And they just decided, nah, nobody cares about that. What if we slap a bunch of characters on the front of it? It's very gimmicky as opposed to good for gameplay is my
Will
problem.
be coming to the D&D Beyond marketplace.
Because Magic is a very fantastic game for strategy. I want innovative new strategies, not new picture art.
To return to D&D's.
I've been getting really into Magic the Gathering. I'm like confident we had this like same exact conversation like a couple of weeks ago. So I was talking about how I was getting into Magic, and you were talking about like, man, I just hate the crossovers.
It's too much
Yeah.
to fit into one book. So our return to
But,
the realms
like-
is going to be in
Oh, Lego
Again,
minifigures,
I-
4,000% sure. There are people that use Lego sets for their
Or
table.
D&D stuff, yeah.
Yeah, instead of using like they literally just do the whole thing in Legos, and people get so into it. I've wanted to do a Lego like full-on campaign at some point. It just I'd had to do it locally, and I don't play a lot of local games anymore.
New spells, new kinds of spells.
I think the closest, the place where I go play Magic at is like 30-40 minutes away. That'll be like the closest thing I can do.
Recognized like the Harpers.
That's a
or
travel.
The Red Wizards of Thay, and maybe a couple of new ones that
It's
maybe got
it's
promoted.
it's it's.
over
I mean, it's not like an hour. If it was like an hour job, I'd be like, oh, but it's like 30 minutes. Like, I'm okay with like
I've got time
needing for
driven
30
that far
minutes
for
to
it,
like go
yeah.
play Magic for like 5 hours. That's the
fair.
thing. That's the straight up.
Well, we've got
Yeah,
Baldur's
because when
Gate
I was
just
going
for
up there,
you.
I was
If you
usually
wanna go do survival
playing
horror, you can take your adventure
at
off
least
to
3
Icewind
plus.
Dale. We've got sort of classic D&D
yeah.
fantasy where you have all these little isolated towns.
So I
that
am.
live around this
This
giant
is
elvish mega dungeon
very,
that you can go
very
into and
high
explore.
fantasy,
There's the
Lord of the
Dale
Rings
Elements
inspired
for it.
art.
Maybe you're having some fairy stories.
Oh, yeah,
that
no,
have
definitely.
Now, that's
You can
more
do that.
Miyazakian right there.
Without violence. That's all the Moonshae Isles. And then finally, the
I mean,
land
I'm
of
here
Township.
for.
Each
Here's
one of
my
those
thing.
both delivers on a different play style.
Like,
and it's
settings
just almost
books
a
are
different
fun,
biome and, like, world that you can
but
inhabit from a fantasy
99% of the time I create my own setting.
I'm thrilled to be creating.
That's my
It's just-
problem.
I mean,
for
like,
players and DMs that will
A lot of people, I feel like,
back
take inspiration
into
from their
that
settings,
world
And that's
in a way
cool, that I
you
totally-
but no one like bases.
We're really
Yeah,
looking to
like nobody goes in there
set
and
up a
like
future
even
where
I don't even buy a
everyone
lot
has
of
this,
the
like, shared resource of
module
tools
books
and ways to
to
connect
actually
and
play the
play
module. I get it more for
together so that they
inspiration,
can
like
take
Wild
that
Beyond the
experience and share it
Witchlight
with their
or
friends, share their
Strixhaven. Both of those I got
creativity
just to
together,
like
and
have some
create the next
systems if
D&D.
I wanted to run a circus or a school-based system. Okay, so here we go. Here's the dates. Okay. All right, so
Player's
we're
Handbook,
getting
okay,
Player's
never
Handbook
mind.
is, like, soon. It's like the 17th.
I saved you.
Yeah.
And I'm
There's gonna be a lot of people.
So many of us played Baldur's Gate 3.
All right, I need to do a stream.
This is the
I just need to
opportunity
get
for
my
people to
party
continue their
together
adventures in this new way
for
to
a
play
Baldur's
D&D.
Gate stream because I do want to get a group together to actually play through it.
And play D&D with all of these cool 3D environment pieces and miniatures that come with the product. You can start experiencing
Very into
a
this now.
role-playing game, but in a
I
more
mean,
digital-friendly format.
This is essentially what Tailspire does. It's just they're throwing in Baldur's Gate, you know, with a theme package on it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's great. If they make a great tabletop system that's better than Tailspire, I am so happy for them. Let me play other things in it, though. It can't just be fantasy. Because I play so many other game settings. I don't want to only be stuck in Dungeons and Dragons land. I do more than... That's what I'm worried about. I've got to see other game systems in it other than just medieval fantasy.
Then, yeah.
That's what
I'm hoping
for me.
Fast, fun. If you played with mini,
I don't mind
I'm
playing
hoping-
in the 5.5 system if I've got the options to make it work.
Yeah, I feel like there's too much holding them back. But I'm
They're
still.
being held back by their own ignorance because they own other properties that they run systems in.
have to bring life inside that.
I'm still very excited for like this though. Like I can. Me personally, if it's only D&D, I'm probably just going to stick to Tailspire. But
This is like
but I'm very, very excited to see where this will lead to get new people into the game.
I mean, that
I think this is a
big
great
thing with
gateway
Dungeons
for
and
new
Dragons.
people.
It is a great thing. You get it all one big package, but that package is just very thin, in my opinion.
Different scale, sizes,
Yeah.
the look of it. The awesome thing about D&D is you can continue to get
This
like,
it's just a better. Okay,
items,
well,
and then you can go back
buy
to
Hero
your
Forge.
character,
It's just a cooler Hero Forge. That's a shame.
Is it though?
your individuality within the group.
That's the
and you can
thing.
feel the
It's
progression.
only cool
And look-
if it can do more than Hero Forge, and can it? Can it, or does it only do medieval
This is only the
fantasy?
medieval.
We wanted to feel kind of
That's the thing.
It's.
If I go to Hero
It-
Forge, I've got a million different types of things that I can make outside of just
an idea that's
medieval
called
fantasy.
module. It's a D&D mini
Yeah.
adventure meant to last a few hours. Just
I
so that you
will
can get a
admit,
taste or get a part
if
of
I'm
it.
making a medieval
We wanna
fantasy
tell the whole
character,
story for you.
I do
So,
like
we
the
give you
look
these
of these
places. You wanna
characters
go
Oh,
more
they
than
do.
Hero.
They do. They look great.
You wanna go to a mine,
They look
you wanna go
better.
to
Yeah.
town.
I'm sorry. Hero Forge. I'm sorry. I love you. Mwah.
Characters,
but
adventures, and so
Hero Forge
it's
just
a
has so
great
much
place to
like so
start
much
your
versatility.
modding games more than making everything whole
It's
cloth,
just
which is
good.
faster and more fun for
Jared
most
says
people.
stat sheets are just too much for his ADD brain. He's got too much unga bunga brain for a lot of these games, man.
The level builder is sort of like the
That's why I'm
best
medicated for it.
set
Oh yeah, you gotta get medicated just to be able to play tabletop.
I gotta get
role-playing
medicated
games.
so that, like when I make a character, I can actually like go through the steps instead
I
of
mean,
like.
so
here,
this
here,
is
here,
essentially
all the
just
places.
Tailspire. That's what this is just Tailspire, though.
It's just Tailspire, yeah.
I don't think that it's necessarily better. I just think that we'll see because we don't know for sure yet. We'll see. Tailspire's got a lot in it, like a lot.
traps, right? We have
And plus,
gizmos
the
like,
Tales File is
flips
very
that go
much
up and down, all
for the
sorts of
community,
stuff.
and they let you
Really make
import
that
assets.
storytelling
And
Make
that's
your
the
own
thing, because
assets
people
and
can,
import
yeah,
them.
people can take their own 3D assets and put them in there. I'm talking characters and everything. So you're gonna find, like I said, I found full on Fallout assets, like power armor,
Yeah.
everything that I needed, like different robots and everything, for free, just right there in Tailspire. I mean, I know I paid the one time, and that's the thing, I paid the one time for Tailspire. You're gonna have to pay monthly for
All
this.
sorts of kinds of games and all sorts of
That's the
types of
thing.
toys that
You have to pay
wanna
monthly
add
for
to
this.
your-
I don't have to pay monthly for Tailspire. I paid one time, and I have community creation stuff coming out constantly.
I paid $25, and only one person has to own Tailspire in your group now. That's the glory of it.
It's even better, yeah.
Only one person has to add, because
Yep.
everyone else can get the guest pass.
Yep.
And if you just invite them to the seat, everyone can like build stuff together. Everyone can make stuff.
Yep. Yep,
play
so
together.
it's gotten even better with it because now, yeah, like you said, you can guest people in. Sorry, Jared, that wasn't a thing whenever we got it. That's a newer thing where you can just guest people in so they don't, not everyone has to go and buy the full version.
I found that out.
Yeah, well,
like
right before
30
we,
minutes ago.
Yeah,
Same.
same. It's cool that that's the thing though, but Jared likes world building, so maybe he'll end up actually just enjoy making a world in the game at some point.
You can easily upload that through D&D Beyond's map feature. With just one click, you can share that map into
I do
private
like
sigils,
token
drop
mapping.
down
I do
menus,
think that
and
it works a
right
lot
away.
better for certain types of
We're starting
games.
off on PC.
Yeah.
We wanna go
And it's a lot
everywhere because we
quicker.
wanna
You know,
connect
sometimes you
players
just
across
don't.
mobile,
I think for
console, and I don't know,
more
maybe
heavily
even your
strategy-based
fridge. Wherever you
games,
wanna play,
a
you
grid
wanna be
system
there
might
at
be
your
better
fingertips.
sometimes instead of a full
This
3D.
immersive experience is gonna
Like-
be
like
available
Lancer.
for free.
For
exactly.
example.
Exactly.
Also,
Yeah,
players
Lancer would be a
are
great
Getting
example.
back into Lancer, very good DTRPG system. If you, I would highly recommend looking into it.
But
Very
it
fun.
is very much it's a lot more akin. It's a happy medium between Dungeons and Dragons and something like Warhammer. You know, like you get that,
Yeah.
that higher level of movement strategy.
Control in
It's
your hands.
Lancer's also very combat focused
Exciting development
and like
Project
action
Citadel.
focused as
Yeah.
opposed to
Everyone with a
roleplay.
D&D Beyond account
Take
to join the
Avatar
beta
and reverse
this
it.
fall.
Exactly,
Sign
because
up for
Avatar was
free
almost nothing
right
but
now
narrative, and that
at
was what held it back for me though. Was there wasn't enough hard-hitting like system in there.
Digital and physical
Yeah.
Oh, hold up.
bundle. You will get this awesome Gold Dragon Mini to kickstart your Project Sigil collection.
So are you gonna have to buy individual models?
I hope not.
I would at least hope that you're getting a good amount of them when you buy, because they're gonna nickel and dime everybody. They're gonna expect you to pay monthly, then they're gonna expect you to also go and buy more. They want you to go and buy more. That was it. Okay, so it was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, that's it. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Well then, I guess we'll just leave it up there so we can discuss for a few minutes. But yeah, so what is your overall thoughts? Because that end actually killed it for me. Like the ending of that ruined it.
I think it's just the one figure that you'd be paying for. I think that was the one-time deal. Is if you like pre-order it, you get that one figure.
But here's my thing, is I already know that they like to charge for like special looking dice that you can roll or different figures that you're going to have to buy. Then what is the point of the monthly subscription? That's my thing. I want one or the other. I don't want both. Either I'm paying the monthly subscription and I get everything, or I'm buying the assets individually. I do not like a combination of the two.
You're not doing both. I think this is another thing that I'm really hoping. I want this to succeed because I love D&D. It's what got me into TTRPG. It's what made me a good chunk
I've
of
been
my
playing
friends.
for over 20 years. I've got a D&D tattoo on my arm. I'm obviously a fan. I just think that they're messing up this launch because they're getting greedy.
I just think it's one of those. I think Wizards needs to do reevaluating. I think they just need to step back and just.
I'll even go further. I think that Wizards needs to be left alone and Hasbro needs to mind their own. Because
That's what it's fucking Hasbro that's
feels
ruining
like
everything.
Hasbro just has its fingers all over this, telling them oh, you need to make sure that our only thing that's really making us a lot of money right now makes us even more money. I'm sorry to tell you, but the reason it was making money is because we were happy, and you've done nothing since those statistics came out but try and ruin this franchise, Hasbro. Like it's stupid. You do one or the other. Is it a monthly subscription or am I buying assets? One or the other.
I'm hoping that another like boycott thing comes out.
It will. It will if that's what they are literally doing right now. Like I said, this is me telling everybody right now. Go and get TaleSpire. It's $25. It's one time, and it does everything that system just showed you.
I think TaleSpire is just the better system right now currently.
And it's a one time.
It's also it's been out for how long has TaleSpire been out? Like it's already established. That's the thing, I think.
Well, it's not only already established, but it's constantly getting upgrades because it's technically like a lot of the video games and stuff in its beta phase, and it's already doing everything that I saw there. Yeah, it's a shined up little different looking package and everything with what D&D is doing. I would hope so with the amount of money that they're working with, but TaleSpire works just as good. Yeah, it has its flaws, but that's the point of it being in beta right now because everyone can work through it. You know, it's early access. They're working out their things, and it's already doing more and has more community support. So, I mean, I'm just going to have to see a lot more information that's going to convince me that I should be a part of this system that I feel like is more based around microtransactions than actually catering to the community that built it. Because D&D is a special thing. We don't need your supplement books because you have dungeon masters that create an immense amount of their own content without any of the junk that they are, you know, like, I'm sorry, but you don't need Strixhaven and all these other ones there if you just have a good GM that knows how to fucking work their own magic a little bit for implementing their own systems. It's not rocket surgery after you played a campaign or two. Like, I don't need as much hand-holding. We buy into D&D because we love D&D, not because we need it. But then they start nickel and diming us and saying, oh, the fan base isn't paying enough, and there's actually been leaked messages from Wizards of the Coast higher-ups that were saying, we need to go and find ways to make them pay more money because they got mad that the Dungeon Masters were the main ones that were buying the books. So they're trying to find a way that they can monthly ping you and make you have to need to pay the same amount as the Dungeon Masters are because it normally is on our backs to go and get all the books and everything. That's my problem right there. It's because they're just trying to find a way to make sure that the whole table gets pinged instead of just the Dungeon Master. Because that's how it's been. Why does everybody bring snacks for the Dungeon Master whenever they do? Because they spend the time and the money usually to make sure that the game is actually happening. That's just a tradition when it comes to this. That's why there's paid GMs now. But they're going to sit there and say, nope, that's not enough. Even though when it's our one franchise that's actually working over in Hasbro, we're going to say that it's still not enough for us. Because why? Because we're greedy. That's exactly that's what it is. It's a greed. It's greed. That's my problem with them is they're sitting there and basically going and saying, you guys aren't paying us enough even though you're the main ones that are paying us. That's what they told us. They took our hospitality and the fact that the community makes most of their content for them. We just buy the D&D stuff because we're loyal, but they've made it where our loyalty was taken advantage of. That's the problem I have. We were loyal and bought stuff because we loved their franchise, and they said that's still not enough.
I think I can't fault. Obviously I want to fault the entirety of Hasbro, but it's not like every worker's fault. It's just the higher ups. They need like a big management change. They need a management change.
Oh, it's the investors and the higher ups. It's always them. I'm not mad at just the normal workers over at Hasbro. This is about their higher ups that are controlling things 1000%. It's people that have probably never picked up a D20 trying to tell people how to roll a D20.
They need more people that have been in the community for a long time to actually like run it and have the community in mind. They don't have the community in mind with most of these things.
You look at something like Deadpool. Why does Deadpool work? Because Ryan Reynolds is passionate about it and puts everything he has into it because he's a fan. You have a bunch of people making decisions, like I said. You have a bunch of people telling me how to roll a D20 that's never picked up one. Those are not the people that need to be running this franchise and telling them what they need to be doing over at Wizards of the Coast. Because I think that Wizards of the Coast probably has a lot of really good intentions because they went through the effort of getting hired on at Wizards of the Coast, but you have a toy company trying to tell people how to run a tabletop role-playing game company. That's the problem here. They don't know what they're doing. They have a franchise they don't understand.
I want to know the specifics of the Wizards and Hasbro contract, because I so hope
they own them.
That Wizards is able to like somehow get out of that.
Not unless Hasbro decides to sell them off, which is a possibility.
It's not a big possibility, but I mean, like, if Wizards can just be Wizards again,
yeah,
I think it'll be a lot better. There's a
chance.
Faith. I have faith. I have hope. I'm glad that they're trying their best. It's not great, but they're trying.
They're not trying their best. They're just maneuvering around. They're maneuvering around Hasbro. It's what they have to do. And I know, and that's the thing, is they need to have whoever's the higher up at Wizards need to have a good sit down and explain this stuff to them. That's the thing. Like, I understand that there's a limit to the amount of power that you have, but there's a point where you have to go and take the message boards and put it in the higher up's face and say, hey, you go and look at all of your top creators right now that we're not paying, because that's the thing. Here's another thing that really makes me mad about Wizards of the Coast. There's a lot of really good tabletop gaming creators out there that made fantastic content, and then they got bought. And I'm not mad at them because they make their money. But when I see a lot of the content creators that were the reasons that D&D got prominent again. You go and look at your Critical Roles. You go and, you look at a lot of these people that were the reason that it was starting to get popular again. And that's fine. They reached out to them. We'll pay you guys this much money to promote all of our good stuff. The problem is then you have a bunch of falsities out there because now they're only allowed to say the good things about it. So basically they buy up all of the biggest voices that are going to talk about their stuff. They buy them out. And then they start messing with the company, because that's exactly what they did. Then they started messing with what was working and trying to milk us more because they've already bought the voices that were going to tell us what to think about it. But it didn't work because they didn't buy up all of us. They have a lot of us old school ones that weren't, how would you put it, kosher enough to fit along with the type of content that Hasbro's wanting to put out there. They want family-friendly content. So you're going to have somebody like me that they're never going to come to me about wanting to promote them. Good, because I don't want that. I want to sit here and tell you right now that the way that you're handling the company right now is foolish. It's foolish because we have Paizo. And for anybody that doesn't know, Paizo is a company of people that used to work on Dungeons and Dragons. They got tired of the corporate BS and opened their own company and made a fantastic system called Pathfinder. Maybe you don't want medieval. Well, what do? Starfinder. You got it in space. And it actually has good ship systems as opposed to a certain particular space-based system that came out for 5th edition a few years ago that didn't tell you how to do space combat. How do you put out a space book without space combat in it, Wizards?
That just feels like a major oversight.
And they did.
I feel like there was a sticky note that got swept under a desk into a trash can there. I feel like the janitor may have taken that off of a computer by chance.
Here's the thing. I understand that there is that centralization that goes around Dungeons and Dragons because of name. It is the tissues of tabletop gaming. It's a household name. You are 100% correct on that. Here's the problem with it, though, is there's better systems out there. You want to go for a more futuristic, spacey looking setting? There's this fantastic thing called Cyberpunk. You might have heard of it before. That started out as a tabletop game. Go and play that. You want more of the dark, spooky kind of thing, but you want more of a 30s and 40s aesthetic? Oh my goodness. Call it Cthulhu.
That's what it was called. I wanted to call that one out.
Yeah, a
Call of
fantastic
Cthulhu, I've
system.
heard a lot of good things about it.
It's fantastic. It's great. There's like a whole horror aesthetic where your like character's mentality of where they're like mentally sound is a meter on there that's very fun. Oh, you want to do something like you didn't like Strixhaven. It wasn't quite the Harry Potter, thing that you were looking for. Maybe I want to go and play a different system and try out Kids on Brooms. Oh my goodness. There's a million systems out there. And that's my problem, is that I understand that you're going to hear D&D and that's going to immediately make you think. If you go and pick up to the average person and go and show them your set of dice and go, these are the dice that I use for this game that I play, they're going to go, oh, D&D? That's fine. I get it. That's where we're at as a society. But that means that the people that are actually playing the game, it is on us to go out there and spread the good word of better games, because there's a lot of them out there. That's true. There's just better games.
I think here's what D&D is slowly becoming. D&D is becoming the baby's first TTRPG.
Yeah, which is fine. Yeah.
And then it's fine.
Yeah,
but then
everybody starts out with Pokemon and then moves on to real turn-based RPGs.
Yeah. But that people that stick around are starting to realize what Hasbro and Wizards are doing. So then they want to go on to the other TTRPGs. And then people are starting to realize, oh wait, these ones are just better.
Yeah.
So they pick up the D&D, they learn the basics, like how to make a character sheet, what to look for, how to role play and stuff, and then they just move on to the other systems.
Yeah. Well,
and then all I have to relearn is just how to make characters.
That's the problem, though, is you have to remember that I worked with the company Artificer Alley for about a year and a half, and one of the services that they had is they hosted local games, and one of their biggest problems is you had all of these people that holds on to 5th edition like it's their security blanket, and they will not play another system. Like, that is the only one that they'll play, and it bothers the hell out of me. Like, get out of your safe space, people. And I don't mean that as an insult. I'm just saying that there's better games out there for you. He is right. Pancake is correct. Give yourself a good old D&D start to see if you enjoy tabletop gaming. I personally think that there's better games that you can start with. But if you're just wanting to bite into a franchise that has plenty of people that you could find to play with, because that's the thing, it's accessible. You can find people to easily play D&D with. You're probably going to have a harder time finding somebody that wants to go and play some of these other systems with you, because you are essentially going out and giving them the thing that everyone already knows. That's fine. I just think that after you've spent a year in the tabletop gaming space, it's time to take the training wheels off and play a real game. I'm just saying. They're like, do you just only play one video game your whole life? You pick up one, you pick up one RPG and that's the only one you're ever going to play? No! You go and play other games for different systems.
You got to play multiple.
Yeah. So why not play different, like, tabletop gaming, like, systems? There's so many ones out there that do different things. They're meant for different settings. You go and look at something like a mech game, like a mech tabletop game. Why would that need to be a different rule set than something like 5th edition? Because you need rule sets for overheating and specific body parts on the mech being damaged. That's an essential part to a mech game. That's not something that's included in 5th edition.
5th edition is just too, like, bland.
I hate how baby gloves it is. And what I mean by that is, if you go and look at older editions of Dungeons & Dragons, depending on the race that you would choose, you would have negatives. Certain things played better as certain classes. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, but if you're playing as a Loxodon, you should have a plus to strength. But they wanted a balancing system. But I'm sorry, this is a role-playing game. Life isn't fair. That's my problem, is they wanted to balance things as opposed to make things logical, which is what people come to these types of games for. I want logic, not balance. If that makes sense. I just think that it's silly that, certain races would have more abilities, and not everything has dark vision. Or attack of opportunity.
I think it's one of those things that, like, again, they're just trying to make it accessible, which is not a bad thing.
It's just baby
but it's
gloves.
Like, if you want to make things more challenging. There's so much tweaking you have to do.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal. When you could just take a different system like Pathfinder, Lancer, Besom, just to name a few. Call of Cthulhu.
GURPS.
What?
GURPS.
Don't know what that one is.
GURPS is a system that's very similar to Big Eyes Small Mouth, where it's basically a build your own system kind of thing. Yeah, which a lot of people like those ones because you can pretty much just go in, like, create your own as opposed to having pre-made stuff for you.
Yeah.
But nah, I just think that there's I just personally think that Wizards, you got a lot of cleaning up to do if you're gonna make me come back. Because, like I said, I currently have 0 Dungeons and Dragons on my current slate of tabletop gaming. Not a single thing I'm doing is 5th edition, 5.5. I might end up trying to cover some stuff if it actually starts getting some press worth talking about when you release your new core rulebook, but I don't currently have any interest in actually going and buying it myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if I'll buy the new rulebook either. I think I'll just.
We'll see.
I like D&D.
Yeah.
I like having fun, but it's just the people are making it fun. The system is just kind of there.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's what a TTRPG should be. I think it should be a nice mixture of both. I think I should be able to do things with the system that allow me to have fun with the system while I'm also having fun with the people.
Yeah.
Which is where, like, everywhere it kind of, like, balances out between systems. For example, our Avatar system. The people made it really fun, but we didn't interact with the system a whole lot.
Right.
Meaning, I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was interacting with the system, I think it was great. I think it just needs a little bit more tweaking.
Yeah.
Make the system more prevalent. And I think it'll be a pretty good TTRPG. But I'm also not a TTRPG designer.
Right.
I'm just someone who plays.
I mean, I don't know what's best. I am writing that settings book right now, so we'll see how that one ends up going. But that's going to be for the Fabula Ultima system because they have their own OGL.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that sparks so much of the rage that I have towards Wizards. Is that was the kickoff point. Because I'm an avid D&D fan, but they really just have been punching the fans in the face over and over, and then having to wind it back because no, we're so sorry, we didn't mean to. That's the vibe that they give me. Is it just like, oh, sorry, and I'm just sitting here thinking, bro, like, I get that you're saying you're sorry
so many times,
but you keep doing it over and over and over, like. How many revisions have they done over the past, like, 2 to 3 years when they've made a mistake just because they made the fan base that angry? Like, it's ridiculous, man. Like, there's no excuse for it.
You can only, like, punch people in the face so many times and say sorry, it was an accident before people start getting suspicious that you're just punching people in the face. I just wanted to make a punching people in the face reference. I don't know why I want.
Well, that's because that's my thing. Is, like I said, am I a Dungeons and Dragons fan? You bet. I'm a huge Dungeons and Dragons fan, and it's made some of the greatest memories I've ever had in my life with some amazing people. I just don't like the current state of how it's being run with the company. Am I ashamed that I have a Dungeons and Dragons tattoo on me? Not one bit, because that has been a fantastic part of my life, is playing D&D with a lot of people. But currently, I am playing other systems. And I don't like how the company's being handled. So that's on them. Yeah. I just don't really see a reason currently to play Dungeons and Dragons. Not when there's better systems to play and they're not offering me anything I don't already have. I have Tailspire. I have other systems. They're giving me nothing I don't have. And that's the problem.
They're late to the draw.
Yeah, they're very late. I've got it already. I've got what I need. I have my system and I have my world creator, so they offer me nothing that I can't create myself now.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just outgrew D&D by being a creator myself is one of the biggest problems. Is I've got a template that I enjoy with Fabula Ultima, and now I can create whatever I need to in it. And I've told you about how that system works, right?
Yeah, it's very like
With 4
we were talking about it
stats.
before stream. It was very
Yeah, you got 4 stats. Each one has a die that's correlated to it, and you always roll two for whatever the roll is. So simple. It's very much I get to tell people roll these 2 dice. Boom, we get to move forward because if we're streaming something, I just need a very quick and simple system. That's one of the things that's drawing me to it, is because quick, simple, keep it moving.
There's also another 4-stat system that I've been playing. I've been playing Outbreak a lot recently.
Oh yeah?
That's like that's a zombie one. That one's really fun. You have strength, perception, empathy, willpower. I had to think for a minute. Sorry, it's called Spew. So
I love it.
But then like you have a max of like 45 in a stat.
Yeah.
And how it works is it's a D100 system. You roll percentile.
Okay.
Let's say I want to roll, and there's like tons of stats. So it's I don't think it would be a great for a streaming one, but for friends, I've been enjoying it because there's tons of stats.
I was about to say that sucks because I was hoping that we would be able to get maybe like a zombie stream going for October.
I think it would have to do some research. You would have to do like maybe like 2 months beforehand or a month just to get people used to it, just because it's like really weird.
Yeah.
And I would say Outbreak is also pretty good for more long-term-y stuff. I might just nerd out about Outbreak for the end of the stream if we're okay with that.
Yeah.
Because it's really cool. Because it gives the players a lot of control.
Yeah.
As to what they can do. Because there's tons of stats. And the DM might say, hey, do me this. And then you can look at your stat sheet and be like, actually, can we try this?
Nice.
But also gives the DM a lot of power.
Okay. I'm thinking
because you can make
I'm thinking about possibly doing a one-shot horror theme aesthetic game running with the Fabulous system, but adding a stress meter or something to it, so that way to add to the horror aspect of it.
Yeah. Just rip the one from Call of Cthulhu.
Right, pretty much. I mean, I'll figure something out. What it'll be is I'll just include an ability with the creatures you guys will go against that have attacks that add to the stress meter kind of thing.
Shoot, what's it called? Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a stat effect type. If there's not already one built in, I'm gonna check the Fabulous system because I have all of the books that are out for it currently. I just because there's a lot of optional rules, obviously, and that's one of the things I like. If you want to go and do like a limit break system that a lot of tabletop role playing games have, you can do that. There's create your own specialty weapons that you can do, and it's cool because it just has a buy system. You have so much money that you're given at the beginning. If you want to customize your weapon and have a really cool custom weapon that can do whatever you want it to do, that's an option for you. So it's cool that there's a lot of like add-in stuff like that you can do.
A lot more customizable.
Oh yeah, because I mean, there's different types of like role-playing games like JRPGs. A lot of them have their own little gimmicks that are added in, so it's kind of cool that you can interchange gimmicks. For example, I've been playing a lot of Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, and the Slayer class has a limit break system. And then another class I play has a combo breaker system. So one of them fills up and the other one fills up because you're getting combos, but you just get a higher stat by getting high combos. But the other one, like once you get the meter filled up just from doing a bunch of attacks, you can do unleash stuff. And I like that it's different depending on the play style you're going for. It makes it where it's fun to play the game again because you can add a different mechanic to it.
Yeah. I've tried to get into that game, but
yeah.
Mine is like I'm reinstalling it really quickly because I think I was because I had it on like a portable hard drive on my actual computer hard drive. Right. It was like really like choppy. So,
yeah. It's fun. But I'm like way max leveled right now though, so like my main class just hit max, and I have another one that's not too far off.
I'll get in. I'll be y'all's tank.
Well, what you do is you just go through the story, and that'll get you in. Like you're gonna have multiples that already get pretty close to maxed, but to go through the story, what you're gonna have to do, pick a third class that just to do that because you don't want to be over leveled. You might as well level another class while you're at it, so you have 3 options by the time that you get through the main story. Yeah, because then you can be useful to different people. Like, oh, I've got a tank that I play, but I also have you know. So it's good for that. I have one that's a bit more tanky and one that's a bit more DPS, but both of them kind of play that same kind of role. It's not as imperative in this. Basically, you know, because I can play ranged with one of them a bit more mid-range, where the other one's all pretty much close up. So, you know, different play styles. One's dually guns, but I can also use a rifle, and the other one's a gun blade. So.
Gunblade.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm pretty much. I think I'm gonna end my stream here at least. You know, because that's all we had for the D&D stuff. I have a ton of editing to do because I have done 2 directs today so far. So I'm gonna probably just post this up as one big video, just because I don't think that it was worth clipping. Not really. It didn't do individual things that much, so it's gonna be better. It's just one big video. And then I have a bunch of little ones from Nintendo Direct that I need to go and put up. But yeah. In my stream. So yeah, anybody that's still watching, thanks for watching. I'll probably be back on sometime tonight to stream some type of a game.